Hi everyone.
Hi.
My name is Martin.
Hi.
As you heard, welcome to this nice conference. First of all, I would like to thank you, SciTech, and of course, I would like to ask you, all of you, for a big applause, if it's not a problem, to give an applause for these four guys. Thank you guys for such a nice organization. Thank you, Mikhail, for everything. Neo, Val, and Tony. Thank you guys. And this morning I was watching online, so I must tell you that I am a bit uncomfortable why nobody get just an idea to make one selfie. So I think we deserve as a company, if we all agree, to make one selfie for LinkedIn or something. So guys, thank you. Yes, so... So, let me change. Yeah, this one. We will move here. Thank you. Okay, click here. Yeah, just click.
Are you live coding now?
Yeah. Hello, one more time to everybody. One more time, thank you that you come on this talk, on this conference. I'm really happy that I'm part of this conference. I'm really happy that I'm part from SciTech. Thank you. We as a company, as a team, we're really good guys, and I'm really happy one more time that I'm part of this. So, this is me. But before we go on this slide, I would like to give you one let's say, intro that I prepared. We're living in one cloud era, modern era, where all of us, I don't know, who is using Azure or cloud from all of us?
As in doing it or Azure?
No, in global, in your company or privately, doesn't matter. Any cloud provider maybe. So as we can see, all of us are using. So that one, I said, one of the, let's say, modern era. And when it comes to this topic, I'm already using 6 years, I think. Yeah, 6 or 7 years, Azure, all the time. So sometimes, you know, guys, it comes a little bit boring, all the day, that. So I'm very often searching for something that is called, you know, that nobody's using. You want to find something interesting or more interested about. So today's talk will be about Azure Arc. I don't know how much of you are using that or does ever heard about it. I have heard a couple of talks and a couple of companies that they are using, but not so much. I think it's really powerful tool in Azure. It's basically based on Azure, just as a info. And that's why it was my goal in the last 2 years. I want to learn Azure, and I learn it a lot. I'm using personally because it's really nice tool. And all of you can use. It's free if you are using any cloud provider, especially Azure, because Azure allows to connect the multi-cloud, doesn't matter which one, but it's based on Azure. So, yes, this is Martin. Martin Dimovski is 34 years old. I have 2 roles in my life. One is father and husband. The second one is DevOps and Microsoft trainer for most of the Azure trainings, like solution architect, security, administrator, and all others. More technical, let's say it like that. I'm not a guy that wants just to listen, you know, somebody talk without doing something. So most of the things that I want is basically Azure administrator. I like it in the last 2 years because they're changing all the time, and it's really fun to do and to explore the Azure. They have a lot of new things. I have more than 14 years IT experience. I started as a IT support guy, you know, please change my toner in the printer, install the driver, and so on. So in the last 14 years, I increased my career, let's say, and learned a lot of new things, which now I'm working as a senior DevOps consultant for this company. In parallel, one of my hobbies is football. As you all can see on my laptop, it has one club. I don't want to mention the name. Maybe somebody's here from Italy, so maybe he will say something or I will say wrong. Otherwise, yeah, a couple of other hobbies is running, football, blogging. It's my passion, but all the time I cannot find some time, free time just to begin to share all of the knowledge with the people around on the internet. Really, I want to share a lot. I'm preparing something new, which is coming from November. I will share basically on LinkedIn or with our company, where I'm planning to make a couple of cloud journeys where we will explore all of the things in the cloud and Azure by itself. So, yeah, let's start. Yep, this is Azure Arc, or this is a presentation about Azure Arc, as I mentioned. We will see a couple of topics: what, why, how, pricing, as always, really important topic. How Azure can save some money, and why I think personally, or I will try to convince you that Azure Arc is the future that will be used.
A quick note, could you put the blind sound on, please?
Sorry, gracias. Thank you.
So, for those who never worked with Azure Arc, or for those who don't know what it is, it's really simple. Azure Arc is bridge. Azure Arc is a tool, extension that make connection from one place to another, from point A to point B, nothing else. It has availability for different areas. You can manage from the Azure basically. If you're using, or your customers have Microsoft, or they're using Azure Cloud, you can easily just try and hit that without any problem. You can use, and this is, I think, the biggest benefit for Microsoft, and they achieve a really nice goal. I was saying in the past that the failover tool is on the top as a Microsoft tool, but this, I think, it's on top of that, and it's called multicloud. They have availability where it doesn't matter what you're using. If you want to switch from one cloud to another, or to connect another or one cloud to Azure Arc, you can do it without any problem. The other thing is also that it's available for Internet of Things, edge platforms, without any problem, just like that. And the most important for any of us, I suppose most of us are technicians, or the people that are working with me are mostly technicians. Basically, what we want to be centralized everything, where you can manage everything from one place. Not now go here, go there, go to another place, go on some IP address, go on local or something. You can do it everything from the portal.azure.com. I'm very often saying to the new guys that are coming on my Microsoft trainings, now for you is needed internet connection and one browser. That's it. You can continue your work, you can learn, you can do everything that you want. Where are we? Yep, or not. Is this? Yes. This is how it looks, one complete scenario. You have multi-cloud, no problem. We can make a link. You have your own servers behind us, no problem. You can make a link. Even if you have an edge solution, you can make just one thingy, one connection, and you can manage from one place. As I'm managing, for example, these three things in this situation. Azure Hybrid is the thing that it's called for Microsoft. Why Azure Hybrid? Because you can do innovation anywhere. That's the idea, that's the point. Imagine a scenario that if you are a CEO of the company, and if we look 10 years in the past, all of the companies has bought or invest minimum 100,000 euros for the servers, for the storage, for this and that. What they can do now, everyone wants, let's go in the cloud. It's the easiest way, with a couple of clicks. But remember that you have a persons or a colleagues that are working on a little bit old style applications, where they cannot just like this to migrate that with a couple of clicks. Maybe it's a confidential data, maybe they have problem with the data, maybe they cannot do or to migrate that application in the cloud just because it's some old version of application, software, database, or anything else. I don't know if you guys remember, but in the past all of the banks were asking for Internet Explorer. Imagine now, why if they migrate in the cloud and they must use Internet Explorer? Internet Explorer is retired, as we all know. They must use Edge or something else. So very often, in the past, on a couple of projects, it was one person that I was contacting or talking about cloud. It's one of my friends. He has more experience than me, and he said, Martin, look, we can go in the cloud, but not for every price. We cannot just do click and that's it. Sometimes maybe it will cost more, maybe we will have problem with the data, maybe we will do this. Why I like it so much Arc, and you will see, I think I will convince you, as I mentioned on the beginning, why to use or to try. It gives us all of this. For every customer or every company, what is the most important? The security guys. They want to have the top, the security to be on the highest level, not passwords like QWIACDZXC, you know, the standard password or something like that. They want increased security, two-factor authentication, passwordless even, or something else. You are DevOps, or you want to use your DevOps tools, no problem. You can use with Azure Hybrid direct. Why? I will mention again, because it's based in the cloud. He made just a connection between, doesn't matter, any other service that you are using. As I mentioned, why Azure Arc? My conclusion is these topics. You can run any Azure service anywhere. On-prem, IoT, Edge, doesn't matter. You can make or run that any service anywhere. We have all of the governance anywhere. What that means, if you have a couple of servers locally, I don't know, QA, you want to save money in the cloud, you put locally, create virtual machine or something, just because it's a testing VM or something like that. You can, even for that, you can make a governance for that machine to follow all of the best practices in the micro. Management, no problem. Portal.azure.com, search Azure Arc, that's it. You will see everything there. Cloud practices, implement security. Basically, everything that you see in Azure, you can implement with Azure Arc in your any other location. Azure Components on-prem, no problem. You want to use Azure Monitor, no problem. You can use for your virtual machine that is local there. And why I keep this for last? For who we are working? For the customers, guys. And the customers are the most important people for us. And we want what? To help them about how they can solve the problem, migrate, or to check or to troubleshoot anything just to help them. So customers for us are really important, and sometimes they can have a really complex solutions in their company. Really complex where, as I mentioned, even it's an old version of application, even it's something else. Yes, we can run services anywhere. We can extend across the environments without any problem. We can adapt, as we mentioned, all of the cloud practices anywhere. And of course, the security, one more time, because, because the security for any company, doesn't matter in my previous experience, in every company where I have been, what we are doing for the security. That was the first question. It's not, you know, what type of password or something. It's just the security that must be on the top. Yes, the most important for all of the customers or for us as a tech guys, we have the single control plane with Azure Arc. As I mentioned, I will mention how much time is needed. I don't have any problem, but portal.azure.com, and you can manage everything that you have. Imagine now that you have Azure admin, me, and you have Mikhail that he needs to take care about storage, your servers on-prem, he needs to change, I don't know, some storage disk, and so on and so on. With this, you have all of the monitorability, you have the availability, you can check anytime, you're following the governance model. And the governance model, as we saw, now everyone needs to follow. What you have on one side, you must have on the other side. In this case, if it's on-prem or it's Internet of Things tool or something else. Yes, the next and the most important, as I mentioned for the customers, we can go in the cloud, but how much it will cost? Maybe it's not so visible for here, but I will tell you. Servers, no additional cost. Kubernetes, no additional cost. What else is needed? The beginning, or if you want to do, I don't know, attach a Kubernetes cluster, attach server, it doesn't matter what type, Linux, Windows, or something else. It's free, guys. You can just attach directly. We will see on the demo that's so simple. I prepared one VM on my local computer and I will execute just to show you how easily you can manage all of these things. Paid services is something that it goes a little bit deeply about the security or some Azure policy that you must be set up in your cloud without any problem. But there are really small things that are payable in this case if you attach some cluster or some VM or some service or application without any problem. So it's really cheap and useful for you as a technicians and so. How can Azure Arc or Azure help to us? One agent for everything, guys. As a tech guy, you just have one script, run the script, that's it, end of the story. You will see your service in the cloud immediately, after 2 seconds, without any problem. Build applications anywhere without any problem. Kubernetes cluster without any problem. Now even you don't need Zabbix, you don't need some other monitoring tool. You can use the Azure Monitor because you can include the alerts or everything else to be also enabled for your on-prem side, IoT services or things, or edge at the end if you have. You want to use the SQL, containers, Azure policy, Microsoft Defender, no problem, guys. You can implement everything that you see in the cloud, you can also implement on your local site without any problem. If we want to visualize how it looks, the Azure Arc. Azure Arc is the same like our extensions that we have in our browser. Maybe how it was this with the clock, momentum or something that we are all of us, good morning Martin, the time, you know, that we are putting in the Chrome. Is the same in the Azure. You have your Azure portal, this is just inside extension where you can implement everything without any problem. All resources in other location, local management tools without any problem. And as I mentioned, which Microsoft is really proud of, is the multicloud. Because we have customers where they started with some other cloud provider. After 3 years, let's switch to another. But they cannot just stop the services in some other cloud provider. They must either migrate or make connection if they go in Azure or on something else. So with these extensions, you can enable a lot of things and you can continually use all of your current services without any stop of the service or something. Because what's the point at the end? To have a high availability. That's the most important for every customer. If they want to use this and they don't want to have any downtime on their services. Yes, we can use all of the services. Also, this is a Kubernetes cluster. It's connected with Azure Arc. As you can see, we can use the Lighthouse, Management Group, Resource Tags, Policy, Log, Sentinel, or Defender without any problem, or because they are available for us. The biggest topic that I'm really happy to say or to share with you that 3 months ago, one company just suggested to use the Azure Arc, and they saved a couple of good money, let's say it like that. They have 17 racks like this. They migrated in the cloud last year. The guy called me and said, Martin, what we can do with this? What? Tell me, Martin, what we can do? Where to send these servers? Tell me, where to send? And I said, look, I cannot help you for all 17, but I can help you maybe for 2, 3, because they have 300 or 400 people. You can create test VMs, and the guy that is responsible for your infrastructure can manage these servers from the cloud. We just need to use the Azure Arc. That's it. And the first topic, how much it will cost, how much money we need to pay, nothing. If you're using just the virtual machines, no problem. Because he has, I think, 100 or something developers, 50 or 17 testers, and they have these automations, manual testing, and everything. Different version of applications. So he can now easily just save some money in the cloud and put everything here. But again, the guy that is responsible can manage everything from the Azure without any problem. If something is wrong with this storage, no problem. He can just change or tell to the guy that is there locally to say, look, this disk is not working, please change, or let's put it on another server to try if it's working or not. Otherwise, imagine if he don't monitor with something. It will go down, the testers will come in Monday, and they will say, oh, it's not working, guys. What we are doing? So somebody need to take care about it, and very often when something is not working, as we all know, in Saturday evening, the boss is calling us and saying, look, it's not working, can we do something? Of course, it's always for the weekend, it's not in any other day. Why is Azure, for me, is the future cloud, basically Azure Arc, and why I want to convince you to use. Because look at this picture, and you don't need to see or to read everything. You have Azure Stack. For those who never work at Azure Stack, it's a personal server based from Microsoft. You install a old portal Azure, you install on this as a ISO, and you can manage locally the Azure stuff. This is used most of the time is for confidential data. The people that are working, I don't know, pharmacy or something, the biggest company. So they're using this type. It's a special server you have locally, but at the end you can manage with Azure Arc. The latest thing, or the latest new thing in the Azure Arc is that now it doesn't matter if it's Hyper-V or VMware, you can manage also VMware servers with Azure Arc without any problem. Which means it's a different vendor. We have different vendor. We have different cloud provider. Which means that we can use Azure Arc for everything. And that's why I want to convince you that that is the future cloud. Because it doesn't matter what you're working, what type of service, what type of vendor you have on your servers. You can connect that with the Azure Arc without any problem. Yeah, this is one more picture where we can see that all of the connections, if you want to create an extended network, VM, storage migration, backup, replica, security, everything, you can achieve this with Azure Arc. And we have a demo time. This morning I prepared.
Whiskey.
Yep. Is it visible, guys? Yep. So I created one VM this morning, it's fresh, new. If it has some developer that want to try something, just let me know. I can give the keyboard. So it's a Windows server. I install it. So here it is. I think I didn't even put a password on the VM, so you will see.
Oh, that's about security, huh?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah. Oh, here it is. I will put some basic one.
Last year, 1, 2, 3.
Yep. With big L. Yep. So visible. Yeah. No, it's good. Yep. Yeah. He will apply. In the meantime, I will share the browser. There's the browser. Yep. For those who are curious about how it looks or how it works, you just need to put in your search from the beginning, Azure Arc. You will see this icon. This is how it looks. Let me just, maybe it's easier like this. Here it is, directly from technical perspective, let's say it like that. We have custom locations. service principals, virtual machines, Azure Stack, Kubernetes, servers, SQL, VMware, everything. Even System Center now, PostgreSQL or SQL managed instances. We have this. Here it is the API management, application services, event grid, functions, or logic application. And here it is the pricing. Just to do not be that Martin is lying something. Let me zoom in. No additional cost. Paid services is this. Kubernetes, no additional cost. You have just this to enable. Then you have what is payable, what not. Here it is for the data services. No additional cost. Paid services, this. Application services is still in preview. So as you can see, most of the things, if you want to test or to do something, it's really free. So very good. No, here. Oops. Yep. This is the VM that I created. It's Windows Server 2022. So it's clean one. We will make a demo about the server. I have already using on my local site just 3 of them. I will try to add this VM in a couple of clicks. You will see now. This is a server. As you can see, you can add single, multiple, or for update management. It's still in preview. He's generating for you a script without any problem. The only thing that you must remember that the server requires 443 port, then local administrator permission, and the connectivity method depends on your requirements. Is it on private, public, without any problem? So the only thing that you need to have in Azure, it's called resource group. I suppose for those who are working in Azure already know what is that. So the only thing that you must remember is that, or to create before that depends on the location or the nearest location from where is your office. The next slide is the subscription. I'm selecting just the resource group, and now I'm selecting the location. You can check all of the locations. As we all know, everything is available. Depends on the operating system. These questions are just basically depends on what type of VM you want to upload or to connect to the cloud. Either it's Windows or it's Linux, because on Linux you need to execute, as you all know, differently. So we will check the Windows. For me, it doesn't matter. I will go with the public endpoint, but you have options with the proxy server or private endpoint without any problem. I go next. Then you can select the data center, city, state of district, country of region without any problem. Data center, I can put anything, East US or where it is. I can put the city, let's say Amsterdam, easily to recognize later. Also some type of a tax, imagine this, just to make separate, to divide them easily. Then we have a custom if you want, and basically that's it. Microsoft or Azure created for us a script. I can download the PS1 file from here, or I can copy directly on my VM. Here it is. You can close this, and now we can switch to the VM, PowerShell. Here it is. It's opening. Yeah. Started. I'm executing. The only thing that you must remember, you must have access or somebody to add Azure onboarding, a role in the Azure, and that's it on the resource group from technical perspective, because now he will ask me to authenticate the user and to connect the user there. He's downloading the agent. Basically, this agent can be used on any server that you have locally and just connect that inside in the cloud without any problem. The only thing, as I mentioned, is that in Azure you must put your account on the resource group. Here it is. If we go here and just search for resource groups, Martin test, you can see in the access control here. Oops, a role assignment. You must put the admin user basically just here. If you don't add, you will get an error. Remember that it doesn't matter if you're global admin on the subscription, if you are owner of the subscription. If you don't put your user here, it will pop up an error and it will not connect the service to the Azure. Okay, so yes, here it is. Authentication complete. Now you can return to the application. We can close the window. It will need just 10 seconds. Yep, 20%, 50%, 80%. Yeah.
Oh, 20% only.
No, here it is. Yep. I will let this finish. Okay. We can search now to Azure Arc, go to servers, and as you can see, here it is our latest VM. Now the agent is just checking the status, is it online or offline. In the meantime, till we are waiting, here it is, just to show you what options you have. So you can manage the access without any problem. You can put additional tags, basically the same as we see in Azure on our daily basis if we are working with Azure. We can connect with a Windows Admin Center for those who are using without any problem. We can implement the security, the extensions if we want PowerShell or desired state of configuration or something, just with a couple of clicks. We can put the policy. We have the option, it's still in auto manage preview. If you remember, for those who are using virtual machines, is used for shutting down automatically and starting the VM in the cloud without any problem. You can use the inventory. If you have application, you have the insights, so you can deeply check if you're using some application, any logs for that. You have the logs also. You have a task for automation. We have the resource health, if the machine is working or not. So everything that basically is needed for us for any maintenance or to check or to troubleshoot, you can see directly from Azure Arc. And as you saw, basically it takes us, here it is, the script is finished, it takes us 2 minutes. And this VM is now part of my Azure subscription. It will cost me potato, I'm calling the zero, potato, nothing in the cloud. So it's really simple and really useful thing. And that's why basically I'm using Azure Arc, and I hope I give you some info and try to convince you, as I mentioned, that Azure Arc is the future. Woo. Do you have any questions, guys?